All right, next piece, seats. So I got these brand new seat covers. I'll do a video in the other section here. Redid the seat pans, powder coat, etc., new cover. Foam was still good. Out of 4 bikes, had 1 good foam. So these were glued as far as I recall. Hondas had these little hooks in them. These Harleys and Aramakis didn't. So putting this back together using Gorilla Glue and binder clips. We're gonna clip it on, let it sit overnight, and we'll check back with you in the morning. All right, folks, it is much later, a few weeks actually. I've got these seats, both of them done. Wanted to do a little bit more in-depth how I did it, but wasn't too terribly difficult, as I showed you in the last video. I used Gorilla Glue all around this outside rim here. And the first one I did with those binder clips, as I showed you to hold it. The second one, oddly enough, both of them, I had just enough of this ribbing, or whatever you want to call it, to do both of them. So the second one, I just did all the way around with this. I think it glued a lot better. And then the end piece, I had to fold this over and just tape it back. But I'm pretty happy how it turned out. Nice and tight. The seams are all good. A little bit of fluff in the back here on this one in particular, but not too terrible. All in all, so far, pretty happy with them for Japanese, Chinese, chimichurri reproductions. So I'm going to put that down in the box here with the other one. Let me see if I can lay these delicately without making a mess. Got a new fender here. That's a new old stock fender for these bikes that takes the shovel head style taillight, which is what I wanted. I think it looks a little bit more sleek. Also, since the last one, I've got a new emblem on here. I was missing one of those, and Carl at Carl's Aramaki Restorations has those repopped. So if you're looking for one, you can have that done. I'm actually happy with that exhaust. It was one that I powder coated. I have photos of it, not a video, but I powder coated that. I'm actually happy with that powder coating chrome look. Anyways, updates on the bikes. I want to find a way to make these videos of me actually doing something, or somebody actually doing something, but I'm not too damn good at that yet, other than, I did some on the Tornado. But anyways, both the bikes are sitting here. Oh, I got the other bike sitting there, but we'll talk about that a different day. We go. It's up on wheels. The color scheme is coming out exactly like I envisioned. So, like I shared photos, this bike's going to be red, white, and blue. The sheet metal on it's going to be white with red, white, and blue stars. Kind of inverse. Well, no, I guess so. Anyways, long story short, metallic white. Think white diamond Cadillac. Chimichurri shocks. You can see this one's got Chimichurri air shocks from Amazon. But this bike's coming together, so the engine's finally back in it. We've got a wiring harness in it. We've got hand controls and lights. I'll talk about those in a second. Wheels are back on. I went with some less aggressive wheels on this bike. The orange bike has some more aggressive wheels on it. It's going to be more off-road than this bike that's on-road. So you guys saw the lights before in photos. I'm going wild with these bikes. I mean, none of it's going to be original. I mean, kind of original, but so at that point, if I can find lights that look cool, that have color matching to this red, white, and blue theme or this orange theme, why not? I think it's going to make the bikes look hot. Everything's powder coated. I had the photos of that. I was teaching myself powder coat. Is it the greatest in the world? No, but these are 40, 50-year-old bikes, and the parts are like hen's teeth. So the biggest thing is hunting down these parts. So I was able to get an original harness, yet again, thanks to Carl from Carl's Aramaki Restoration. He's been helping me out with a lot of parts, but a lot of these things are impossible to find, folks. And some of them, I mean, I had 4 whole bikes and 6 engines, and I'm still missing parts. The piston rings in those last videos, impossible to find. So recent one, a development, these turn signals that you can see are now on all corners of both bikes. Another piece, impossible to find, Aramaki, Harley Davidson, that mount like this and slide over. And I thought to myself, I had a CB175 that had very similar lights to that. Why wouldn't CB175 lights work? And guess what? CB175, 750, that whole generation of bikes, they're very common. They're on Amazon, they're on eBay, they're all over the place. So these are reproduction Honda CB750 lights. I think I paid $14 a set, so I maybe have 60 in all 4 lights. But you can find them on Amazon, you can find them on eBay. I noticed after I figured this out, some other people are relisting these as Aramaki lights. The only thing I will say is they don't necessarily go as deep as the factory Aramaki lights. So I had to barely kiss them with a drill bit to get these mounting bolts through here on this side. Kind of hard to see, but they work and they look damn good and they're new. I didn't even have, I had 4 of these bikes that I'm trying to make 2 out of, and I didn't have a single damn turn signal. So at least not that I remember. So that there's no way that I would have been able to salvage or build these bikes. But anyways, working through the electrical now and some of the other miscellaneous stuff, kind of getting to the point where I really need to do some sheet metal work here shortly. Oh, hand controls, that's another big thing. Hand controls on these bikes are awful. I have some somewhere in a bag here. All the ones I had left are junk, garbage. They were kind of junk garbage to begin with. I do have some of the harnesses here. They're in one of these boxes. Lord knows where. Not the greatest. So if you followed any of my other builds, I like using modern post 95 Harley hand controls. The only thing this bike isn't going to have is the start switch here, but they're the same diameter. They're unintelligent switches, folks. You can make them work. I'm going to change these plugs on the end to mate with these factory. Well, that's a bad example. They're hanging off the other side, but the factory Aramaki plugs. And they'll be nicer hand controls. And then what you do, again, I don't have any sitting here. I did this on my Sportster chopper that's also on the Facebook page. You take a clutch bracket and you flip it 180 degrees. You mount your clutch bracket on this side, and then you can run a mechanical brake cable. Well, it's on the other side. Mechanical brake cable to your clutch bracket. It works out well. Very, very little modification. I did it on a couple choppers now, and it works well. So that's the plan with this bike, as well as the bike behind me. And quite honestly, I'll probably continue to do that with a lot of these bikes I build. Yet again, I have a box. I'll show you here. I have an entire crate full of these hand controls. Pieces, parts, whole matching sets. And it was cheaper for me to go on Amazon and buy that entire set of hand controls. That was $26, I believe, for a set of Harley hand controls with wires, buttons, and everything. I can't buy the harness for that. And for what these bikes are, that's perfect. Buy them, put them on, I can rewire them, I can put the other piece. I'm literally not even using parts that I have in my own stock because it was just cheaper to buy new. So that's what we're doing. Anyways, yeah, so stay tuned. We're gonna keep working on these bikes. I'll keep you in the loop with some of these different wiring issues as they come up. So carburetor issues. I've got one carb for this bike that we're going to rebuild. And I just found another one on Facebook Marketplace in Michigan. I'm hoping the guy's going to ship me for the other bike. But some of these other parts, impossible to find. The ignition switch that goes in here, no luck. If we do get it, I mean, I paid $100 for each one of these bikes, about $300 for an ignition switch for the few that are out there. So, you know, we're electrical engineers here, so we're probably gonna have to figure something else out, at least for the orange bike. I might spring for this bike. That's probably gonna be the road bike. Other than that, we're just hammering through little parts here, getting them. These are battery cables, so we got repop battery cables here. There's a carb kit. These are gaskets for these air cleaners. I might put those on here shortly. Rubber pieces, just a bunch of little new old stock parts. You know, it's always cool to see these boxes. You know, this is made in 1974. I like keeping these. You know, you put them up on the wall or on the shelf. New old stock air cleaner cover. So anyways, stay tuned. We'll keep working with these bikes. We got to get these bikes done so we can work on that one here in the near future. But anyways, yeah, happy Memorial Day. God bless America. Let's get some red, white, and blue bikes going.